In Central America, the northern regions of South America, and the North American Southwest, there exists a chilling legend of a restless spirit, a woman doomed to wander endlessly searching for her lost children. Her cries, mournful and heart-wrenching, echo through riverbeds, lakes, and arroyos, embodying the eternal pain of a mother consumed by grief and guilt. This is the tale of La Llorona, the weeping woman. Her legend transcends borders and cultures of time and physical distance, with scholars finding parallels in myths worldwide, from Lilith of Hebrew mythology, a vengeful spirit tied to lost children, to the German Die Witwe Frau, a ghostly figure of sorrow, and Lamia of Greek lore, a woman transformed into a monster after the loss of her children. In Mesoamerica history, La Llorona is often connected to the Aztec goddess Chihuacoro, a deity of fertility and motherhood. Chihuacoro's ghostly screams of, quote, "My children, we must flee," were said to reverberate through the canyons, forewarning the empire's destruction. Some say La Llorona is intertwined with the tragic story of La Malinche, the interpreter and mistress of Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez. La Malinche, blamed by many for aiding the fall of her people, is said to have taken her own life and her son's after Cortez abandoned her to return to Spain. This fusion of historical and mythical narratives has cemented La Llorona as a figure of betrayal, loss, and endless sorrow. Descriptions of La Llorona vary widely. Most commonly, she is a ghostly woman clad in a flowing white dress, her long black hair framing her tear-streaked face. In some tales, she rides a spectral horse. In others, she appears as a towering figure over 9 feet tall. Occasionally, she is seen as a fiery orb hovering over the waters as she haunts. And while most stories claim she drowned her children in a fit of rage or despair before taking her own life, some variations say her children were stolen or murdered, leaving her to search in vain for eternity. Today, we unravel the layers of myth, history, and folklore surrounding the spirit of the weeping woman, La Llorona. Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole.
Imagine that this line represents a time, present 1985, future, past. Prior to this point in time, somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985. Alternate you, me, and Einstein. Fuck. Reality for everyone else.
Welcome back to... Damn it, Jake. Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole, the podcast that goes beyond the ordinary to explore the unexplained. Tired of recycled content? Good, because we dig deeper to uncover fresh perspectives on cryptids, conspiracies, paranormal phenomena, ancient mysteries, and everything else in between. Our hosts bring unique viewpoints and lively debates for diverse insights to make every episode a journey into the unknown, backed by research and knowledge that goes beyond the first page of Google. If you love diving into the unknown with us, we'd love your support to keep the journey going strong. Here's how you can help. First, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review on your favorite podcast player. It's one of the best ways to help new listeners discover the show. Or if you prefer, head to infiniterabbithole.com and drop your review there. Want to hear yourself on the show? Leave us a voicemail on our website, and we'll play it at the start of our next episode. Share your thoughts, a story, advertise your project, or even a topic suggestion. We'd love to feature you. For the more immersive experience, join us live on Twitch every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/Infinite Rabbit Hole. Chat with us in real time, share your thoughts, and be part of the action as we explore the unknown together. And for those of you looking for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes goodies, check out patreon.com/Infinite Rabbit Hole. It's the best way to support the podcast and get access to premium episodes and more. Thanks for being part of the Infinite Rabbit Hole community. Now, let's get back to exploring the Infinite Rabbit Hole. What's up, Jake? How you doing, dude?
I'm good. We're We're into Wisconsin deer season, and it's day 2, and I dabbed myself a big old doe and got her in the freezer, and everything's good. It's awesome. I'm
Yeah?
stoked. Yeah,
Deer meat for days, huh?
deer meat for days.
That's so sick, bro. Send me some, dude. I'll send you some fish in return.
Well, how about you come up and you have some?
The rule
Sure.
is neither of you can refrigerate it. You just have to send it.
Send it
Just send it
by pigeons.
by pigeons. All right, cool. African swallows, maybe.
Very good. Jeffrey, how's your day, man? What's going on?
It's going, man. Things are good, bro. I'm getting the house together. Crystal's almost fully moved in, and the house is fully decked out. The podcast studio is coming together. Got some more toys to play with. Making money. You know, doing the thing, bro.
Good stuff, man. You're going to have yourself a producer here soon.
Gonna have a producer here soon. Things are about to change. New camera coming tomorrow. Man, things are about to.
You're going to be able to see 30 gray hairs on his face, not just 15.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be
Actually,
great.
to be honest with you, the camera that's coming is about the same quality as this iPhone camera.
He
At
can't
least I
send
don't have to use
text.
I don't have to use my iPhone. Now I can play on my phone while you're talking.
Thanks, man. You're a gem.
I
Love
got
it.
you.
All right, well, we're not here to talk to you guys today. We're here to talk to our special guest. We have somebody who is from the country that is known for this urban legend, this La Llorona. George, what's going on, man? How you doing? And welcome to the Infinite Rabbit Hole.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here with you guys. So happy to share this experience and this legend that we have in Mexico. Because, yeah, everyone is growing up with this history. And, yeah, it's pretty nice to share with you.
So how big is it? How big is it down there? Is this something like where every kid goes to sleep at night
Yeah,
and worried about the La Llorona?
everyone knows about that.
Yeah?
Everyone. Yeah. You are growing up like that. Sometimes the parents are using this as a, hey, you know what? If you are playing late outside of your home, hey, come here, please, because La Llorona is going to come with you and take it away from
Like
us.
a boogeyman. You better
Yeah,
do your
sometimes
chores, or else Llorona is gonna come get you.
exactly. So some parents are using that just to take care of the children. So yeah, everyone in Mexico knows that.
We dive into that a little bit today too. I've created a small presentation for us to listen to throughout the episode tonight. So we'll dive into the boogeyman aspect as we have in plenty of episodes here on the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Just to name a few, we've done Slender Man and Krampus from Austria, which are other boogeyman type critters that are used to keep children behaving. The La Llorona specifically seems to be based around keeping kids home at night and away from water. So I don't know, Jake, Jeff, what do you guys think? Should we start off with the video clips? Our friend here has some really awesome clips of some loud screams or wails coming out of the dark. It's pretty awesome.
I have him queued up. If you want to go.
Yeah, George, you ready to go, man? You ready
Yeah,
to?
yes, I would like to share with you that this video was recorded in the guardhouse of the neighborhood. So this day was raining a lot, and also during those days, a kid was drowned in a river. So
Oh no.
it's kind of funny that we have this video. So please play
Yeah.
it.
Okay, it's all you, Jake.
I got you. All right. I'm not sure why it's not playing.
Okay, I can't hear it. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Obviously.
Jake, I'll go ahead and get into the next bit here, and then we'll come back if you could play around with that. I think you'd be all right with that.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
All right. So, George, other than this, have you heard this yourself?
I had an experience in 2010. I was living in one city. The name is San Miguel de Allende. It's the state of Guanajuato. So in that state, we have a lot of legends there. So if you can take a look of the history of that state, you are going to find a lot. All right. So this is a small town It was founded in 1542, so it's an old town,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So it was a rainy day, so it was like 9 p.m. So at some point after the rain, it was really, really cold. And suddenly, like 9 p.m., 9:30, I start hearing like someone was suffering, all right? But the feeling that you have when you are hearing this is like horrific, man. It's like everything is cold and the sound is, well, you are going to hear it in a few minutes, but it is amazing. And after that, it took like on another 20, 25 minutes, and once again I heard that. So it's like, what's going on? And the legend mentioned also that if you are hearing this sound very, very close, is because La Llorona is far away from you. But if you are hearing that far away from you, it's because it's really close to you. All right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why is that, but yeah, it is kind of interesting.
So I have to ask, right? Because we have to cross off all the T's and dot all our I's here.
Yeah.
There any? Are there any known animals in the area that sound anything like a woman screaming or crying?
Not really. Not really. Unfortunately, it's not like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So we are going to have maybe dogs, maybe cats on the city. So no, it's almost impossible just to have animals like this with this kind of voice sound. No, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. Jake, you making any progress there, homie? I could play it off my phone. Just put it up to the mic if we need to. You're muted.
Playing off my phone, and there's no audio at all.
There isn't.
No.
Okay. Well, then I will play it off mine. We'll listen to it that way. The videos.
Can you try sending it again?
Yeah, I could try setting it again. George, so you said this is the guardhouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So in one of the videos, you are going to hear a lot of dogs barking. So it's even more interesting that to hear.
Yeah. Jake, I'm going to try texting it to you. How's that sound? Or do you want it back in Facebook?
Text it to me, and then I'll send it to Facebook, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Let's see. Sorry there, George. Sometimes we have some tough technical difficulties.
No worries.
We might look like we know what we're doing, but we have no idea what we're doing.
No idea. All right. Jake, I sent you that. I'm going to go ahead and read off the first bit on the presentation, and then we'll come back to this. Sound good?
All right, cool. Sounds good.
All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
La Llorona. Oh, by the way, I'm going to butcher a lot of these pronunciations, as I did with the intro there, so I want to apologize now. La Llorona. La Llorona, also known as the Weeping Woman, the Wailer, or the Crying Woman, is one of the most iconic spirits in Mexican folklore. She is said to haunt bodies of water, her mournful cries echoing as she endlessly searches for her lost children. The details of La Llorona's tale vary depending on who tells the story, but at its heart, it is a tragedy of love, betrayal, and unrelenting guilt. The most common version of the legend tells of a woman named Maria, who married a man and bore him 2 children. Their seemingly perfect life unraveled when Maria discovered her husband's infidelity. Enraged and heartbroken, she drowned her children in a river in a fit of despair, but was immediately overcome with regret. Consumed by her grief, Maria took her own life in the same river. Her guilt, however, condemned her spirit to wander the earth, searching for the children she had killed. Unable to find them, she remains an eternal, weeping presence, crying out, "Ay, mi hijos," or "my children." Other variations of the story describe Maria as drowning her illegitimate children to prevent their father from taking them away, or as a mother who accidentally caused her children's death through neglect, such as leaving them to freeze while fleeing her husband. Each version reinforces themes of sorrow and guilt, with Maria's punishment being an eternity of mournful wandering. The story of La Llorona is far from unique. It has parallels in cultures from around the world. She is often compared to the White Lady legends found in European and other global folklore. In Brazil, there is Dama Branca. In French-speaking Canada, Dames Blanches. Germany has the White Weaver. The Netherlands, the White Weavane. The Philippines, Caparosa. And these ghostly women, like La Llorona, are often associated with tragedy, vengeance, or grief, haunting specific locations and warning against certain behaviors. Historically, La Llorona's origins may date back to 1550 in Mexico City, though many believe the legend is even older than that. It is often linked to Aztec mythology, specifically to omens of destruction recorded before the Spanish conquest. The Florentine Codices of 1519, ethnographic study by Franciscan Friar Bernardino de Seguin, mentions an account of a woman heard weeping and crying out at night. Quote, "Oh, my children, we are about to go forever." Some attribute this to Chihocoro, the Aztec goddess of childbirth and motherhood, whose wails were said to forewarn great catastrophe. Regardless of its origin, the purpose of La Llorona's tale has remained consistent. She is a boogeyman figure, used to scare children into obedience. Parents tell their children to stay away from rivers at night or risk being taken by La Llorona. This technique mirrors similar cautionary tales across cultures. In Austria, the Krampus punishes naughty children, as explored in episode 67. The Netherlands has Bokenrijers, ghostly riders who target neglectful farmers' children. Germany, Bootsman, is a shadowy goblin punishing children who stay up past their bedtime, while Russians' Baba Yaga, South Africa's Tokolosh, and Nepal's Gruamata, as well as Indonesia's Wewe Gombo and Japan's Namahahe, all serve similar roles in folklore. Today, La Llorona remains a powerful symbol of grief and caution, her legend enduring in stories, films, and personal accounts. Whether as a tragic ghost, a cautionary figure, or a cultural icon, her mournful cries remind us of the consequences of our actions and the power of human sorrow. All right.
So, okay, go ahead.
No, that's all I had for that write up. Jake, were you able to get that going, man?
No, I'm trying to send it to the drive to see if we can play it from there.
Yeah. All right. So we got a comment from the chat. The only difference I can see between this and the woman in white is that the woman in white went after men who cheat and not kids. True. So the standard woman in white urban legend is, if you're going to talk about the most stereotypical woman in white urban legend, she is a woman who will stand, or a spirit of a woman who stands on the side of the road and tries to lure adulterous men to pick her up in their cars so that she can kill them. That's the woman in white for most parts. And there are a lot of small town roads, big city streets, very, very, very rural locations, even bridges that are said to have a woman in white legend attached to it. And specifically the one that tries to harm adulterating men. She's right. La Llorona seems to specifically target children, whether or not that's her boogeyman aspect that parents will use, and there's actually a much broader danger there that we may be able to dive into at some point.
But the initial trauma, I guess you will, is like the cheating husband, right? Like that's still like the same kind of baseline. This woman haunting because
Yeah, and she took revenge with the kids. So that is a problem, and that's why we are telling all the kids that, hey, take care, don't go to the rivers, because La Llorona is going to be there. It's like the revenge of her somehow. Hmm. But yeah, it's pretty similar. Like, hey, the husband was cheating on her. Yeah.
So how serious do kids take this?
I think now it's completely different. So I can say that maybe 20 years ago, when you are going to hear something about La Llorona, you were going to treat this very serious. Or you know what? I don't want to talk about this.
We got it.
Good to go?
All right.
All right. Let's listen to this. We'll come back to this.
Let's see.
What are you sipping on, dude?
Sam Adams Oktoberfest is just in a jar,
Oh, nice.
like a freaking hobo. Yeah. All right, here we go.
There is no sound.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Can you hear it?
No.
No.
Can people in the chat on Twitch, can you hear it?
No, there's no audio from Twitch
No?
chat.
It sounds like we're just going to have to hold up our phones to the mic there, Jake.
Baloney.
Kenzar's here. What's up, kid?
She better be here. Jeez.
Try the
See,
other
if I-
one.
if I don't full size it, I
No,
can't hear
sound.
that one.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just go with the old phone to the microphone trick.
Rough. All right.
You want me to do it? All right. So let's see. We got one here.
These two videos were recorded like 2 years ago.
Were you able to hear that okay? Right?
Fuck that, dude.
And that was
Bro,
the
if
same
I'm-
sound that I heard in 2017. Exactly the same. But imagine in a rainy night, alone, hearing that, it was like a shit.
Bro, if I was outside in the woods and if I was outside my house and I heard that shit, I'd be freaking out.
Right?
Brother, if I was inside my house and I heard that shit,
Inside my
I'd be
house.
like-
And for example, in 2017, the experience that I had was in a town that is like maybe 15,000 people there. But these videos are in a city that are maybe 1.5 million people living there. So it doesn't matter that it is a small town or a big city. It could be there.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Let's you guys ready for video number 2?
Yeah.
You can hear the dogs react to that.
Okay,
Mhm.
that one, I'm not there. I don't know, right? But it sounds like maybe some sort of coyote or something, or a wolf, perhaps, right? Like a howling.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that one. Not the first one. The first one sounds like my soul's about to get sucked out of my body, right?
Jeremy, can you play the first one again?
Yeah. Ready?
Yep. Second one definitely sounds like a wolf or some type of dog. I know my dogs like to howl. The first one is gross. Like, ugh.
That's like I'm watching this this show on MGM Plus right now called From. I don't know if you guys have watched it at all, but it is it's a phenomenal show. And every once in a while, because the people from the show can't go outside during the nighttime, every once in a while at night when they're inside the building, you'll just hear this wailing going off. And that's what it reminds me of. Like, man, I'm not going out there because I don't want this thing to suck my face off.
Bro.
So I would like to comment that in that city, we don't have coyotes, we don't have wolves, we don't have nothing like that. It's in the city, in the big city.
Yeah.
So even with that, it's even more difficult to have these kind of sounds.
That's crazy. So what is the water source that's there?
It's like 50 yards from there is a river. Yeah.
So the spirit of La Llorona is known to haunt waterways, right?
Exactly.
And it's not just any waterway, right? It's not just like a specific river. It's rivers, creeks, ponds, lakes,
Exactly.
everything. If it's a water source, it haunts it, correct? Because
Exactly.
part of her torture is to walk all the water sources.
Exactly. I'm glad that here in Wisconsin we don't have this legend. Imagine that we have a lot of rivers here. That will be crazy.
Or we're good. We're going back to the old references in the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Good thing we're not in Minnesota or Finland.
Land of a million lakes.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to the Wendigo episode to learn that inside joke. Yeah. Look at us plugging things
Plugging.
selfishly.
Speaking of plugging things, I've been using this thing to drop these things in the chat, dude, and it is so streamlined, bro. Are you seeing
Is it
that?
cool?
Bro, I'm one fingering
I
putting
see that. You have
Yeah,
it
one
set up
finger.
to our stuff?
Yeah, watch, ready, Facebook, ready? Oh wait, sorry, wrong screen. Here it is.
You just push the button and it just
Just a
drops
button.
that. Oh, that's
Yep.
cool, man.
Huh. Nice.
That is pretty interesting. Huh. Look at him flaunting his money at us.
You can plug that, I suppose. You're allowed.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, man. And it's got the button has a live viewer count. I can see that 5 people are watching without like just on my little button over here. There's 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, it's lying to you.
Well, now it's 4.
Yeah, well, it has been 4.
Anyways, back to the story. Stop talking about your new toy guy. So, George, what is the scariest account that you have heard, whether it comes from a friend, a family member? You've got to have heard some pretty wild stories of this thing.
Well, you are going to hear about this story, but you are hearing a lot, but maybe not all the time you are going to have the experience. All right? So imagine, it was 7 years ago. I was 33 years old. So after 33 years old, to hearing that history is like, oh, I'm living the experience. So it's not really easy to hear that. So yeah, for sure, there is some people that is talking about. Even I saw the La Llorona in a river. But yeah, it's like I saw that. Oh, for example, in the cemetery, the La Llorona is here sometimes, and the people in the small towns are talking a lot about that. So no, it's La Llorona, La Llorona, La Llorona. It's a cultural thing here. So sometimes it's not like before, like the people is scary about that. Now it's different.
That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. The only urban legend I had from when I was a kid was a local mental hospital.
It tells me about like people here in North America with Bigfoot. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen Bigfoot, or I've seen Bigfoot here, and I saw Bigfoot there, and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, okay, well, maybe one day when I'm out in the woods, I'll have a Bigfoot experience, and then you do, and you crap your pants.
Because at some point you are not going to believe in that. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Bigfoot. Oh yeah, La Llorona.
Yes.
But when you get
Whatever,
that
whatever they
experience,
say,
it's
right? Yeah.
crazy. It is crazy.
And then you
Yeah.
have your experience, and then it's like, okay, well, I believe now. And then everyone else is like, yeah, okay, bro, okay, okay, yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
Before we continue, though, I want to, and I forgot to do this at the beginning of the episode, I want to shout out the author of the book that I used for my research. The book is called La Llorona, Encounters with the Weeping Woman. It is a phenomenal read, mostly stories that she compiled. The author is Judith Shaw Beatty, and illustrations by Anita Otilia Rodriguez. Very, very interesting stuff. There's some really, really good stories in here, and I purposely did not include most of them. I included, I think, 3 stories from this book, but that's because, as I typically do, I don't want to take away from the author. I like to push authors and their hard work. So highly recommended. Anybody listening to this episode today, or when it comes out on the audio only platforms in late December or early January. The book again is called La Llorona, Encounters with the Weeping Woman by Judith Shaw Beatty. That's where I got all my research from. Very, very interesting stuff. And while I was out there buying books, I found a La Llorona pop. Look at her.
Nice.
Yeah. How cool is that? It's from the movie The Curse of La Llorona. So yeah, there's actually 2 versions of it. And this is the rare one. It's got a little chase sticker right there. There you go. Yeah. I don't even know what the other one looks like, but yeah, she'll find a permanent home right there next to my other ones. Yeah. It's funny because I got Krampus right here. So I'm just missing Slenderman. I wonder if they make a Slenderman pop. I'll have to look for it. And then we'll have the Boogeyman collection up there among my Mothman and Big Feets. Yeah. You guys ready to continue on with the journey?
Ready.
How'd I do with that write-up, by the way, George? Did I do okay
Yeah.
so far?
Yeah, so far good.
Good. We're going to dive into a little bit of pop culture here. This is something that we don't typically dive into, but I thought after doing the research that I did, because the book didn't dive into pop culture, so I had to go to outside sources for pop culture, mostly
Okay.
Google, going to be honest with you. But it is all over the place. It's everywhere. There's tons and tons of pop culture references of La Llorona. Pop culture. The legend of La Llorona has left a significant mark on pop culture, appearing in various forms of media over the years. The first cinematic adaptation of the tale appeared in 1933 in the film La Llorona. Since then, there have been several movies of the same title, including a 1960 Mexican version and a 2019 Guatemalan version. In addition to these, the story has inspired films such as The Curse of the Crying Woman of 1963, Kilometer 31, 2008, J. O'Kell, 2007, and The River, The Legend of La Llorona. Other notable films include Revenge of La Llorona, The Wailer, La Llorona, and the 2019 supernatural thriller, The Curse of La Llorona. The most recent addition to the cinematic universe is The Legend of La Llorona from 2022. La Llorona has also made her way into literature with the young adult novel Paula, Santiago, and the River of Tears, the first book in a trilogy inspired by the legend. 15 poet Deborah A. Miranda wrote a thought-provoking piece titled Advice from La Llorona, exploring themes of grief and loss through the lens of the weeping spirit. In music, La Llorona has long been a symbol of sorrow and has been immortalized in various songs. The Mexican folk song La Llorona, first sung by Andre Henestrosa in 1941, has been covered by many artists, including Lasa Dacela, who named her debut album after the legend. The Los Angeles-based rock band Manic Hispanic also released a song titled, quote, She Turned into La Llorona on their 2003 album. Television has not been immune to La Llorona's haunting presence either. She has appeared in several popular series, including Supernatural, Grimm, Craig of the Creek, and Riverdale. Additionally, La Llorona has been featured in video games and comics, cementing her place as a timeless figure in pop culture. Her enduring legacy across all these mediums speaks to the universal theme of loss, grief, and the consequences of guilt, making La Llorona a figure that continues to haunt our imaginations. Right. After that, I got one more section, and we're pretty much done. George, how big is La Llorona to the culture there?
It's big, man. The only thing is that many people thinks that the sound is going to be like "Ay mis hijos," something like that. But as you can hear in those videos, it's completely different. It's even
Yeah.
worse. It's even worse. So yeah, it's completely big. So everyone in Mexico is going to know about this, and also maybe Central America and also South America. And yeah, it's part of the Mexican culture. So yeah, it's pretty big, and you are going to find a lot of information there.
Yeah, we've here in the States, we do a lot of festivals and celebration of some of our favorite urban legends. Like locally here, Elmwood does UFO days, just 30 minutes from Jake and I here. Are you aware of any celebrations of the such for the spirit of La Llorona?
No, we
No.
don't have that. We don't have that. It's more like what the people is telling the others. It's not like a celebration for La Llorona. No, we don't have nothing like that.
So originally I'm from Central California, and I have a lot of Mexican friends that came from there, and I never heard of this. And I'm curious as to whether the urban legend extends from Mexico into the southern United States. So like California, Arizona, Texas, and things like that. Have you heard of any other cultures that celebrate this sort of thing, or not celebrate, but revere, or I guess extend the legend of La Llorona to other parts into the United States? Because it'd be interesting to find that out.
I can answer that.
I
It
don't
does.
know.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. The American Southwest the culture down there is highly influenced by the urban legend of La Llorona. We're going to get into in this very next section some encounter stories and some very historical sightings of La Llorona. And a lot of them, I want to say actually most of the ones that I say are actually from the American Southwest: Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, I think too.
What about California?
I don't know if I have any in California, but I would imagine because I mean I've been to Camarillo and Oxnard, right?
Yeah.
And down to San Diego one time, and the Mexican culture is very strong there. So I would be
But yeah,
very surprised if it wasn't.
I have coming from California myself, I have never heard of this.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
surprising, right? Because California is incredibly well. I mean, like the state's so big, you get all the different like types of landscapes in one state. So you get the mountains, you get the valleys, you get the sand dunes, you get the beach, right? You get all that sort of stuff. And even still, knowing plenty of Mexican Americans, Hispanics, all those sorts of things, all different types of cultures, even yeah. I mean, blacks, Hmongs, all the cultures, right? Everything in between. But I've never heard of this urban legend from any of my friends, anybody who's talking about it, like their abuela talking about this sort of thing. Like it's never happened before. And so I was just curious about it.
you should ask.
I mean, when they say, "Hey, we're gonna go over to the lake and go freaking," we're gonna be dragged in a tube, you'd expect them to say something about
I
it,
think I
dragged
think
behind a boat in a tube.
there's a thing, like, me and Creamer were talking about this the other night. I forget exactly what we're talking about, but, once you start getting to different cultures, right, different areas, things are they're just named different, they're slightly different. Like you guys were talking earlier, what was it called? The woman in the white dress or whatever the fuck you guys were saying? Woman in
The
white?
woman in the white dress.
I don't know what you said. I
You
never
got
heard
it.
Woman
this
in
shit
white, yeah.
before. Yeah, this is new to me, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like the same story pretty much, just like in a different culture, like over there. You just get far
Oh
enough
yeah.
over there and it's the same shit going on. So I think it's probably like the reason you don't know about it or you don't hear about it from, like you're saying, Jake, is because they're just talking about something else. They're talking about the woman in white or whatever. Like that's their thing over here,
Yeah. That could be too. That could be true. There definitely could be local urban legends in the area that mask the
Right.
culture of La Llorona.
And if you live in Florida, they're like, don't go near the water because an alligator will eat you. Like, it's so there's,
Prove to me that those exist. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
bro, I'll have a Bigfoot throw one at you.
Well, in the Central Valley in Fresno, it's don't stay out too long at night or the Fresno Nightcrawler will get you. So, I mean, I guess it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
You get attacked
Yeah.
by white sweatpants.
Yeah. The Fresno
Right.
Nightcrawler will turn you into sweatpants.
I wonder if this is like, I guarantee you, and maybe Jeremy will get into it. I don't know. But, if you went to some other culture on the other side of the world somewhere in like the Middle East, there's probably a similar thing to this as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Yes.
did talk about this a little bit already. Actually, I want to say I talked about it in the intro. Could have been in the descriptive piece, but we talked about South America, Europe, a couple Asian, Russia, Australia, a couple different examples I had given out of literal woman in white spirits. So that shared, I wouldn't say genre, but like if you're looking at it from
Yeah.
a
And it makes
taxonomical thing, it'd be the same genus.
Sure. It makes even more sense to me when you mention the fact that it goes back as well to, what I would consider ancient at least, right? A few hundred
yeah.
years at least, if not thousands of years. That gives it plenty of time for either just the story and whatever to make its way around the world in various ways,
Yeah.
or it could actually be like an actual haunting of some kind, and it happens everywhere.
Well, so I got to find the name. I know it's one of the names I butchered. Let's see. The Chihuacotl. Did I say that right, George? Chihuacotl? Hold on. I'm gonna Google this name real quick, bring up a picture, but this is from
Yes.
the Aztecs. So
Quetzalcoatl?
no,
Quetzalcoatl?
not Quetzalcoatl. This is Chihuacotl. Here, I'll bring it up, and this is supposed to
Are
be.
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
I know Quetzalcoatl.
All right, we'll ask Geraldo.
Okay, whatever, man. You got me. So this is Chihuacotl. Does that look like Quetzalcoatl? Does it? Does it, Jeffrey?
No,
No.
that one
But
does.
this is also supposed to be a woman who La Llorona is supposed to either emulate, take after, or even be the same as. Am I on the right path there, George?
Yes.
So, what did I say about her? La Llorona is often connected to the Aztec goddess Chihuahua, a deity of fertility and motherhood. Chihuahua's ghostly screams of "My children, we must flee" were said to reverberate through the canyons of Tenochtitlan. Did I murder that? I probably did. Forewarning of the empire's destruction. And then you have the story of La Malinche. Is that correct,
Yes, La
George?
Malinche.
La Malinche. She was the mistress of the Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez. Yes. So, and her spirit is also supposed to still be active and screaming. So you have these really, really old accounts of, especially when you go back to the Aztecs, where they had stories of literally how, modern tellings of La Llorona literally seem like they are just the next generation of. So I know we tend to put a lot of weight into that here in the show, like when we talk about like Bigfoot or like the Knock Knock or other Bigfoot lore. We like to look and see if Native Americans have stories and stuff. I mean, this is basically the same concept, right? They have really, really old stories of being just along the same exact lines of La Llorona. So there's got to be something there screaming out into the night, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's impressive. I like it. I like it a lot.
Y'all seen the show Love, Death, and Robots?
I did.
This is reminding
Yeah,
me
I've
of
seen
the episode The Hibaro.
It does, doesn't it? Sort of. Are you talking about the one
It's
where?
it's
Go
not.
ahead.
It's the Spanish conquistadors coming into South America to eliminate the Aztecs, and it's a animation of this lady that's screaming and calling men to their deaths to drown in the lake or the river or whatever it is.
Dude, the animation in that one is wild.
It is wild. But for some reason, like this whole thing is reminding me of that, or rather that episode is reminding me of this. Like there has to have been something that the animators like pulled from in order to make this, right?
Yeah.
Although
I'm
it's probably not the same. Like unless La Llorona is screaming out and making people throw themselves into the rivers to drown. I doubt that, right? Unless that's what the urban legend is. But yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of a I don't know, some sort of parallel.
Yeah, because La Llorona is more related to kids.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
The episode he's talking about though, I could totally see it. I mean, she's not dressed in white, right? If I remember correctly, she kind of looks like she's Persian almost.
Well, she's dressed in gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish we wouldn't get a copyright strike for that. That'd be cool to play. But I'll have to rewatch that tonight now.
The woman in this urban legend, is she just screaming next to waterways, or is the urban legend that she like drags children to their deaths? Does she
George?
scare them away, or does she bring them closer?
Yeah,
It's-
what is the fear that children have when it comes to La Llorona?
It's more like the encounter with her. It's like to be just next to her. Yeah, but yet I don't know how to explain that. I don't know the real meaning about that because yeah, sometimes for example those videos were when the kid just thrown in the river, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's somehow related that maybe she's calling the kids or I don't know that they're playing just next to the river.
Maybe they're playing next to the river, and then she screams and scares them away from it because of the dangers of drowning and all that sort of stuff. Perhaps.
So
Yes.
so there are a ton of different cultural nuances when it comes to La Llorona, right? There are a lot. One in particular, and I'm not sure exactly what region of Mexico or northern South America or southwestern America it comes from, but one of them, the fear is that she will capture children and drown them because she still has that rage, that hatred, that anger in her from her adulterous husband. So she is still trying to hurt him, and the way that she wants to do that is by killing his blood, even if it is hers as well. She walks around, and through her uh, eternity of looking for children along the waterways, or her children along the waterways, she now sees all children as her own. So if you are seen by captured by La Llorona, the fear is that she will drown you. And there have been, I should have included some of this and exactly the region where this particular story comes from, but there was even examples of newspaper clippings of kids who drowned in the area, and they even in like the local newspaper, they blame it on the spirit of La Llorona. So I'm not 100% sure about all of the cultures or the subcultures and what their beliefs are in particular to the La Llorona spirit, but there are a few out there that do believe that she is very dangerous. And then, like you were saying, there's also a few that I looked up that use it strictly as a boogeyman, and there are even some that where she works with the parents to scare children away from the water to protect them. So it's mostly dependent on the locational culture and what they believe about her and what her intent is. So I could see that being influential on what the fear the child actually has. Like George was saying, coming to a spirit alone and hearing that wailing could be enough to be like, yeah, you know what, that's not what I want. And that thought right there alone could keep you away. And then in some more extreme cases and cultures, the actual fear would be that she would grab you, take you underwater, and drown you.
Gross.
Yeah, and at some point she's still crying kids. So if she wants to take away one of the kids, maybe she's going to take away to the river, and that is going to happen. So it's going to be drowned somehow.
I'll tell you what's really cool. The artwork that people have made for La Llorona. It is crazy good. And there's some really brutal ones too. Here, I'll screen share with you guys so you guys can take a look at some of the artwork that there's been done. Of course, a lot of it now is AI stuff. But there's one in particular where it looked like there was like these two explorers that came in through a marsh that I found, and this woman was drowning children as they peered through the reeds of the swamp. It was incredible. But some of the stuff is absolute. It's really pretty. Honestly, there's a lot of really, really good artistic stuff done here when it comes to La Llorona. I wish I could find that picture for you guys.
You will find a lot on the
Oh
internet.
yeah, lots of really cool stuff. Gosh, I wish I could find that picture for you guys. I'll have to try to find it and send it to you guys because it's really, really neat. All right. You guys ready to dive into the last bit I got?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to dive into accounts. The Rio Grande, 1800s. In the early 19th century, settlers along the Rio Grande in Texas began hearing disturbing stories of a woman's cries reverberating throughout the night. These wails, coming from the riverbanks, were said to be so mournful and haunting that they sent chills through entire communities. One witness. I just messed up.
Boo this man.
Boo him. Boo him. One witness recalled hearing the cries so clearly that it felt as though they were right outside his window. Driven by curiosity, he ventured down to the riverbank. There he saw a faint white mist floating just above the water. Before he could react, the figure vanished, leaving him stunned and unable to explain the eerie sighting. This early encounter marked one of the first recorded sightings of La Llorona in the American Southwest, where her ghostly presence would soon become a part of the local folklore. Parral, Mexico, 1897. In 1897, 10-year-old Miguel Ramiro was spending time with a family friend named Olivias when their evening took a terrifying turn. As they chatted, a woman in a white dress with her head hung low approached them and asked for the time. When she lifted her face, the boys were shocked to see that it was not a face at all. Her flesh had vanished, leaving only a skull. Even more horrifying, inside the black void of her mouth was a tiny version of herself, screaming and walking around. The boys were frozen in fear as the woman suddenly levitated into the air above them. Before she disappeared, she screamed, "Donde están mis hijos?" Where are my children? Waking up the entire town with her chilling cry. Santa Fe, New Mexico, 1925. In 1925, a family in Santa Fe, New Mexico experienced a haunting encounter that they believed was with La Llorona. The children's grandmother often warned them to stay inside when they heard the strange cries near the creek. One fateful night, however, the children disobeyed and peeked out the window. What they saw near the water was a woman dressed in white. Her face, they claimed, was hollow and skeletal, with eyes that faintly glowed in the darkness. The next morning, the family found strange, unexplainable footprints near the creek, but there was no sign of the mysterious woman. What had the children really seen? And was it La Llorona? Santa Fe, New Mexico, 1945. In 1945, Augustine and his brother Paul were walking down Ramiro Street late at night when they saw something they could not explain. A ball of fire hovered in the sky before descending and transforming into a bundle of quilts. As they approached it, the quilts parted to reveal something truly unsettling: a baby, but not an ordinary one. This child had a grotesque face with sharp, dagger-like teeth, and it grinned at them. The brothers were terrified, running back to their home in fear, and the next day they shared their experience, claiming that they had seen La Llorona's child. Las Vegas, New Mexico, 1953. In 1953, Ray Lucero was on his way to visit his father in La Joya, Texas, when he encountered a strange woman on the side of the road. She was hitchhiking, dressed in a long black cloak, and she didn't say a word or even acknowledge Ray. Despite the eerie silence, he decided to pick her up, but soon felt uneasy. He noticed one of her hands was hidden in the cloak, possibly holding something dangerous. Fearing for his safety, Ray stopped the car and ordered the woman to get out. As he turned to look at her, she vanished, leaving Ray alone in the car. But just as he was about to drive off, he heard a blood-curdling scream in the distance. And was this the cry of La Llorona? Mexico City, 1959. Fast forward to 1959, when a Mexico City cab driver shared a spine-chilling experience one night. He picked up a woman dressed in white who asked to be taken to the canal. She spoke softly, her voice full of sorrow. When they arrived, the woman handed him a silver coin from her pocket as payment. He turned to thank her, but she had vanished into thin air. Upon inspecting the coin, the driver discovered it was minted in the 1800s, adding an unsettling layer to an already eerie encounter. This strange tale quickly became one of Mexico's most famous urban legends, further cementing La Llorona's presence in the country's folklore. Fort Garland, Colorado, 1963. In August of 1963, Lydia Avant and her brother were driving when the car ahead of them suddenly swerved and crashed. The vehicle in front of them barreled down an embankment, killing all four passengers. But there was something unusual about what led up to the incident. The driver of Lydia's car, who had swerved to avoid the crash, later claimed to have seen a woman standing in front of the car ahead of them. She was dressed in an all-black gown and veil. After the crash, no trace of the woman was found, but police did discover her black veil at the scene. Was this mysterious woman an apparition of La Llorona haunting the highway? Texas, 1980s. In the 1980s, a group of friends camping near Medina River in San Antonio, Texas, had an unforgettable experience. While sitting around the campfire, they heard a blood-curdling scream coming from the river, initially dismissing it as a cry from an animal. They were soon to witness something far more terrifying. A woman in a flowing white dress appeared, walking across the river. Not in it, but above it. She moved slowly, her feet never touching the water. Terrified, the campers fled and abandoned their campsite. When they returned the next morning, they were shocked to find the area soaked as if it had rained the night before, despite the fact that no rain had fallen. What had they seen? And was it truly La Llorona? San Diego, 2007. In 2007, a mother from San Diego, California, shared a haunting experience involving her young son. Late at night, her son woke her up claiming to have seen a woman outside his bedroom window, crying softly. Initially thinking it was a nightmare, the mother soon heard it too, a low, sorrowful moan coming from outside the house. When she looked out, she saw a woman dressed in white, standing under a street lamp. Though the woman's face was obscured, her mournful cries were unmistakable. The mother called out, but before she could do anything more, the figure vanished, leaving only an eerie silence in its wake. These sightings, spanning over a century, suggest that the story of La Llorona is far more than just a tale meant to frighten children. Whether it's the cries of a mother searching for her lost children or a chilling manifestation near water, these real-life encounters persist to this day. For those who have witnessed her, the experience is undoubtedly real and terrifying. La Llorona's presence in folklore is as deep and haunting as the rivers and lakes she is said to haunt. Whether a reflection of collective grief or a genuine supernatural force, the legend of La Llorona continues to captivate our imaginations and may very well still be out there, waiting. Thank you for joining us tonight and exploring the eerie truth behind La Llorona. Stay vigilant. Her cries may one day reach your ears. All right. So, what do you guys think?
Well, there's definitely something. I mean, I think Jake would probably say it's demonic, but there's definitely
No.
something. No,
No.
no,
No?
that's weird.
No, I'd say it's more on the natural. While you were speaking, I looked up the top predators animal-wise in Mexico, and wolves and pumas and jaguars at the top. So I'd say that wolves probably have a lot to do with the howling. I would say a mix of urban legends and people wanting to get their 15 minutes of fame probably add to a lot of it as well. I will say that probably there's people having experiences with demonic beings or angelic beings, depending on the circumstance surrounding it, saying like, hey, get your kids away from the river because they're about to drown, versus, or like, I'm going to bring your kids to the river to drown them, right? Type stuff. So depending, right, there's probably a mix. But I would say that it's more on the natural aspect of people believing an urban legend, and then they hear a wolf howl, or they hear a coyote, or they hear something else, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's that, right? But I could be wrong. You know, I think that we see this a lot with Bigfoot, right? People believing in urban legends or like Bigfoot sightings, and they all want either their 15 minutes of fame, or they're willing to see something like, say, a black bear walking on its hind legs, doing their waddle like they do, and they're bouncing back and forth for a couple seconds. They're like, oh, I see a Bigfoot, right? Type stuff. This could be misidentification in the same way, right? Like you have this culture that believes in the same thing, where it's, you know, this woman's gonna either, depending on where you're at, gonna kill your kids or save your kids, right? And you might see something or hear something and automatically attribute that to, well, that was what it was. I wouldn't go full in and say this is demonic, unlike Jeff thinks. I would
Got
say
'em.
it's more natural and more along the lines of a culture that's deep seated into an urban legend that may believe that this is the cause of certain sounds, certain events, things like that. When some of it may be godly, right? Maybe divine intervention, right? Like you hear a sound and you rush out to your children and find that they're struggling in the river and you snatch them out of it, right? Could be divine intervention. Some of it could be chance, like who's to say? But I wouldn't immediately myself point towards a supernatural for this event as far as sounds go. Now, the videos that George shared with us that were the howling, the one video was howling, which could be a wolf or whatever it was. It doesn't matter population size. I just left a city with a population of 160,000, and there were still wolves and bobcats and all kinds of stuff. Like, you know, animals get in the way of human civilizations all the time. But the other video that was like the blood curdling scream, that's something. And I don't know what to put to that. I don't know. I know that like mountain lions, they can sometimes scream and it sounds kind of like a baby crying and stuff like that. It kind of trips people out, or like a woman crying or screaming. It can wreck people that have never heard that before. But that one was long and it was drawn out. Now that one was weird, like very weird. And to that, I don't know of an animal that I could attribute that sound to. So that one in itself was very, very strange. The only thing I could point at, and I kind of chuckled when we first played it, was my Aztec whistle, right? That
Oh yeah, your death
right.
whistle.
But even that, it doesn't have any pitches to it, right? It's one long drawn out sound. It doesn't have any pitches or anything like that. And that was pretty wild to hear. So I don't know. I would lean more natural, less supernatural, but I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Jeff, you got anything to add?
Well, I mean, I'm not big on ghosts personally. However, like I do believe in something, right? Obviously, we talk about interdimensionals, we talk about spirituality, we talk about all these like other realms and things like this. So,
Mhm.
why couldn't paranormal activity fit into this, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at with it, even though it's not really like something that I've ever really thought about too hard. I don't know. It doesn't freak me out until it freaks me out. If I'm out there, like I said, and I heard that, I'm freaked out, dude. Something's there for sure.
Yeah.
But I've never encountered anything that I would attribute to like any type of hauntings or paranormal activity personally. I have encountered like some weird, blending of the realms, if you will, but nothing like paranormal.
That's called psychedelics.
And some of it has been induced by psychedelics, I will admit, but not all of it. Not all of it.
All right. Personal opinion. I think there's something here. And this is why. Throughout all the stuff that we've researched on this podcast, there has been, well, not even just on this podcast, but just in the realm of Fortean studies, the studies of the strange and the unusual, there are 5 things that are worldwide. Doesn't matter where you are, right? These stories pop up. One of them, Bigfoot. Doesn't matter if you're talking about the Bigfoot, you're talking about the Almas, the Yama, the orang pandek, it doesn't, you pick a land chunk or a chunk of land in the world and you could find some sort of Bigfoot legend there, right? Something of an upright walking Yeti type creature. Same thing with phantom black dogs. Right, we've talked about phantom black dogs ad nauseum here. I have multiple episodes still left to go. Eventually, we'll finish that up. Which actually Mexico has their own phantom black dogs as well. Then you dive into the world of gray aliens and UFOs. Again, that's 4 things that doesn't matter where you are on this floating blue marble or dinner plate, whichever camp you're in. These things exist and they seem to have paid visits and we have stories of them there. The last one is the woman in white. Every single culture, every landmass would seem to have had some story of a woman in white. There's something out there. There's something
Yes,
out there. But what?
but they're different.
So are big feets.
No.
The Yeti is completely
There's-
different. The orang pandek is only 3 feet tall.
Look, they're different. Some of
They're
them
not.
are a warning. Some of them are a caution. Some of them
But
are like, I'm going
that
to
comes
kill
down,
you. Some of them
that
are.
comes down to cultural influence. That's it.
But
And it's the
where's
same thing for phantom black dogs. In America, they are said to be protectors, but you go over to England, where we speak the exact same language,
they're omens, right? Yeah.
right. They're omens.
But where's the truth in it?
What do you mean? Where's the truth in it?
Where's what they actually are versus the cultural reference or the cultural belief, and then what they actually are.
And point to what I believe that they actually are. I have no idea what they could actually be. All I'm saying is that if you're throughout time and throughout cultures spanning both distance and time, and you're still coming up with the same story no matter where you are, but you have these slight cultural differences, something's there. I just,
It's not slight if they're gonna save you versus kill you.
but it's the same thing with Big Feet. Like the Almas is supposed to be pleasant. The rock ape of Vietnam will literally smash your head in. I mean, it's
Yeah, well, that's just a different. It's not a different culture. It's different location.
it's the same thing. And what are you talking about?
No.
What are you
No,
talking about?
that's comparing. Like in my mind, that's comparing a biological animal to a cultural belief. That's like saying like,
I think you're only getting caught up by the veil of the paranormal.
yeah,
That's it.
yes,
That's all you're getting caught up. Like, when you come down to here in America, if you look at it, you take away the Bigfoot cultural beliefs across the entire world, and you look here just in America, you have the Gugway, who's supposed to just rip things apart. You have the wood booger, who is supposed to steal and get a little violent every once in a while, but yet the Paddy of the Northwest is supposed to be pleasant, and the gosh, I can't the ancient hominid of the Northeast, over where uh, New England and
I don't know, man.
southeastern Canada. These
That's
are all
like
supposed to
saying
be
that's like saying the squirrels on the West Coast
yeah.
will rip your pockets apart to find out what you
Okay.
have so they can eat it. And the squirrels on
Okay.
the East Coast are calm and collective, and you can give them a peanut every once in a while, they'll be happy. You're comparing
No.
natural
So tell me the difference between a
entities
red wolf and a
to
gray wolf.
it doesn't
Tell me the
matter.
difference between a brown bear and a black bear.
You're comparing
A brown bear.
natural
A brown.
you're comparing freaking living animals to
Yeah.
the supernatural
Why? Why is that wrong?
because it's different.
Could it be?
Yes,
Or
it is.
is it just different because you believe it to be?
No, you're literally comparing living beings to ghosts, and you're like, it's the same.
No, I'm comparing urban legends and cultural beliefs.
Ghosts and demons and whatnot to
Listen, man,
natural living animals.
you
Yours
know,
sound crazy right now.
I literally believe with all my heart and soul that a upright walking primate walks the woods around this planet, right?
Yes.
Do we have physical evidence that it does?
No.
So it is paranormal. It is other than
No,
normal.
it is not.
It is other than
It is
normal.
not. It's cryptozoological. It's not paranormal.
But
I don't think the term paranormal is other
Paranormal
than normal.
relies on ghosts, demons,
Other than normal is a
spirits,
lot of things.
extra normal, right? So like
So
if
you mean like
if the thing-
supernatural?
Yeah. So if the thing you believed in also could mind speak and phase in and out of existence, then yeah. But you don't believe in that. You believe in
No, you're right.
flesh and blood animal.
You're right. I don't. But there's a ton of people out there that do believe that Bigfoot does mind speak. There are tons of people out there. I mean, shoot, we've had Carter Bushard on the show 4
Those
times,
people
and
are
he's
insane.
written.
We
4
all
books
know they're
about it.
crazy. All right, let's not get into it. All right, it's just an animal. They thought what it would say in their own heads, and they thought it, and they're like,
Listen,
"Oh,
man.
it said it to me."
Listen, we have talked ad nauseum about possible alternate dimensional beings coming over and bleeding into the veil
doesn't
of the
mean they
physical
exist.
realm. It doesn't mean they exist. It doesn't mean they exist, but you constantly talk about another dimension
Yeah,
of
the angelic
demons and
dimension.
angelic.
Yeah.
Who's to say that this isn't angelic or demonic? I'm not saying it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why are you coming on my George? Back me up. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This guy's full of crap. All right, we pinned it down. This guy doesn't know nothing. Me and George aren't where it's at. All right.
The thing here in this case is that there is something, and with the time, maybe something could change because of the parents, because of the culture, because of the time. So, but there is something, yeah, for sure, there is something, but it's changing with the time. Maybe the different versions that we have and things like that.
I think that there's truth in numbers, and if you're telling me that billions of accounts are throughout time, and that every single one of them is incorrect or misidentification, then I think you're crazy.
Well, here's my thing: is that culture doesn't change the way things are. So you could say in your culture that a grizzly bear is just some like Smokey the Bear. It's just he just wants to tell you that not to start forest fires. It doesn't mean he's going to rip your arms and legs off and eat you while you're still alive, right? Type stuff.
That's true. Exactly.
Culture does not change the way things are. So your belief in what a thing is or isn't doesn't change what it is. So my question is, despite what all the different cultures say, what's the truth in it? What's the, I guess the, not to be all algebraic, but the mean sort of belief in it, right? What's the average? Is it a omen or is
Listen,
it a
get your
warning
math.
or what is it?
Take your
What is
math and
it?
get out of here. Get out of here with that.
That's
Get
all I'm
get out
saying.
of here.
Is
You
that
get your math. You get out of here. You want
the
to talk about math? You want to talk about math? I got math for you. Okay. Billions of people throughout history have spotted a Bigfoot. There has been one story that has made the history books as somebody got kidnapped and returned from being kidnapped with a Bigfoot, right? That's the Albert Ostman story of where he got dragged in his sleeping bag, fed the Bigfoot a bunch of chewing tobacco, the Bigfoot threw up and he ran away, right? But we still don't have accounts of people who confronted these things because they probably got mauled to death and they're hanging up in pieces in the woods all around the world, right? Some dude's
Bigfoot?
ankle is probably in British Columbia and his forearm is down in Georgia because Bigfoot could be crazy. But the thing is that do we have accounts of people walking in and meeting these women in white and yet getting close enough to the point to where that now that they're back, they're writing stories about it? No, we don't. Right? So it could be just like the cultural example that you just said, where your culture may believe that grizzly bears are teddy bears and that they'll cuddle you to death, but the reality is that they'll rip you limb from limb. The same thing with Lady in White, right? So you may believe that it is a simple spirit that crosses the road, but if you actually stopped and let her into your car, what could happen? And we'll never know those stories because we will never be able to talk to that person again.
They'll be dead.
Correct. So
Yeah.
cultures don't have to be correct. They don't have to be correct for something to exist.
Right.
Now take your math.
We're on
Get outta here.
the same page. I'm just saying, like, what's the average account of all these things from all of the stories of the being or the spirit or whatever it is? Jeremy, you're the guy who did all the research. You tell me.
You would have to look at the Lady in White on a worldwide scale, and I haven't done that yet. Okay.
Why?
So because we're only on episode 198.
You telling me that you rushed
Because
this
you go to
episode,
page
bro?
3
You
of
didn't
Google
come.
and
You,
nothing
Listen,
else. I
Jeff.
see how it is.
Listen,
you didn't
Jeff,
come in hot
no.
with an 8-parter on every single fucking sighting.
Jeremy, we're having a hardcore argument over here. You better bring some stuff, all right, bro?
This is unlike you, Jeremy. Are you okay, bro?
Listen, man, I
He's
didn't
getting
want to
frustrated.
make George sit here for 6 episodes, okay? I wanted him to come on here and have a pleasant experience.
He's
with-
not having a pleasant experience. You don't have anything to say about it. It's garbage.
Listen, I bought a pop, so I believe it exists. It's
Me,
right
me
there.
and George are boys. Jeremy, you're out. You're out of the circle of trust. All right, that's the way it is. Me and George
Yeah,
are looking for
George,
answers,
you're the
and you don't know
you're the
nothing.
new host of the Infinite Rabbit Hole.
That's
bro.
right.
Buckle
George,
up, bud.
you got this. Jeremy doesn't know nothing.
I need water. All right, George. Well, Jake's an asshole.
So I'll never
Obviously,
get
the-
my answers. All right, cool.
Expert skeptic, as you can see.
I'll never get my answers. I see how it is.
Do we have
Whatever.
any questions from the chat? Come on, chat. Come through. Nothing? Okay. George, I don't know anything about your social media print. Do you do anything? Is there anything that you'd like to push? Anything that you want the listeners of the Infinite Rabbit Hole to know about you or anything?
Well, I have a lot of legends from Mexico, so if at some point you want to talk a little bit about, for example, Tampico. Tampico is a city in Mexico that is protected by the UFOs.
Oh,
So it's a
I'm gonna write that down.
pretty nice
Tampico.
city. So when the hurricanes are coming to that city, I don't know what happened, but the hurricane is taking a different direction. So that city, everyone is telling that that city is protected by the UFO.
Tampico, like the drink.
Yeah,
So good, so
Tampico.
delicious.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
like
I
your
think it's from there. Yeah.
Wow.
weekly serving of sugar in one bottle, but it's so good.
Inside the Mexican city that believes it's protected by aliens.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's in the coast. It's in the Gulf of Mexico. It's in that area. Yeah, you can take a look of that city because they have a lot of information there.
Okay. I just bought a book.
Of course you did.
I just bought a book. So eventually, listeners, we will be diving into that too, because that sounds really cool. That sounds really cool. Hopefully it's
Well,
in
I
English.
just want to say thank you for your time, guys. It was really nice to share this experience that I had in the past. So thank you.
No, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Really,
Thank you.
this was great.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Wild videos, man. Especially that one. That's nuts. That's nuts. I'm gonna think
I know.
about that.
No, I
As
know
I-
it's creepy.
We should somehow get that audio and see if we can
I
put it
will
on the
absolutely splice that audio into the actual episode. No worries.
not from the phone though, but like
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. I got you. I'll do it.
I don't know why I wasn't playing. That's crazy.
Because you suck at this game.
And I'll also with George's permission, which we'll talk about off of air, but I'll post that video on the socials too, so that people listening to the show, if you guys want to re-listen to just that, you guys can go to the Infinite Rabbit Hole socials, and as long as George gives me the thumbs up, we'll go ahead and post that for everybody. All right. Anything else? Last words, everybody.
No.
I have one more thing to say. Jeff,
Oh.
you got anything else?
Follow
Leave us
me
a
on all my
voicemail.
shit. Shadowban Pod. Click on my name in the chat. Follow me there too. That's all I got, bro.
Don't
I've been
follow
blasting the
Shadowban.
chat.
Just
What are you
leave us a
talking about,
voicemail.
bro? I've been
Follow us.
blasting Infinite Rabbit Hole links this whole time. I get a plug.
No, you don't. You don't get a plug. You don't deserve a plug.
All right. I want to talk about this. This right here.
What is that?
Somebody sent me a gift, and I don't know who it is. And this is the letter that they sent with the gift. I love your
Spare
show.
me.
A random fan.
It's Kenzar.
I don't think it is. I have grilled Kenzar about it, and she says no.
I asked Kenzar and she said no.
Yeah. So they sent me these
She
little
wouldn't dare lie to me.
figurines. They sent me these little
I'm
figurines
informed.
right here with all the little cryptids. I got a little jackalope right there. It's really cool stuff, right? And then like this, I thought this was freaking cool. It's a little campground with a Bigfoot in it. Look at
Dude,
him. Look at him over there.
Have you checked any of those for listening devices?
No, or not. I haven't checked it for anthrax yet either. So
Anthrax would be a good one to check for, or ticking, any type of ticking sound.
ticking. I should probably look for the ticking, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's great. Thank you for the gifts. A little weird that you found my address, but so by all means, if it was from you, please message me on a social. Let me know who you are.
Kenzar says the random fan. It's definitely not Kenzar. Both Jeremy and Jake's packages still sitting on my table because Canada Post is on strike, and all other shipping services are pricey. Laugh out loud.
I was smart about Jeff's gift. Well, she got us all
I haven't
gifts,
received anything, kid. Is it supposed to be here already? I don't check my mail very often. I'm a terrible human.
guys. Anyways, so thank you, creepy person. I love you. I really do appreciate the gifts. They're up here, all of them except for the map.
Bro, you gotta calm down saying I love you. You're gonna get a box full of pubes next. Like that's the way it goes.
I got a really cool freaking map of the United States. Like, this is freaking sweet, dude. Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Well, I
Like-
just look at that. I'm looking at it.
I gotta move my entire freaking studio around just to make room for this map. It's so cool. Like, I really like this stuff. It's awesome. I just wish that I knew how you got my address. That's the only thing. Like, it's just kind of weird. But
Well, it is 2025 almost, and you are on the internet, brother. It's not that hard.
yeah, it was very nice enough to break down how somebody could have found my stuff in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I could literally find your shit in like fucking a minute if I wanted to. It's not
Yeah.
hard.
So I guess it's not really that big of a mystery. I still like to know who you are. I like to say thank you and know you're not creepy. That's it.
There's no return address or anything?
The return address was from Missouri. That's all I can say.
I'm going to
Not
send you a dildo.
Misery loves company. I gotta go. It's past my bedtime.
All right. George, sorry for keeping you up so late. I do appreciate you very much for coming on to the show. It's been a pleasure, my friend. And if you ever want to deal with this again, then next time we cover something from Mexico, Latin America, Northern South America, we'll let you know and we'll have you back on.
Yeah, sure. And then let me see if I can get some evidence.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
Jake is going to be happy just to try to explain that.
We also
Yeah.
we also do tequila tasting. Just to
Nice.
let us know.
Do
We
I
do
do.
now.
Do you?
All right. George, go ahead and stay back for a minute after I stop the live feed. Just want to say, everybody in the chat, thank you for stopping in and checking out another episode of The Infinite Rabbit Hole. For those of you that are listening to us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast player of choice, stop in. Twitch.tv/Infinite Rabbit Hole every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. That will be 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. And you're going to have to do the math for the other time places. All right. Until next time, travelers, that has been another path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. We'll see you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye.